May I now request Dr. Indra Dutt to kindly present a floral bouquet as a gesture to welcome Dr. Bala Balachandran.
Most respected President of Andhra Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Mrs. Indra Dutt, who I know her about, some of you are not born. When I taught a course on activity-based management, which I created at one time, sometime like 1993 or 94. And my dear friend Srikanth, Breaks India, who have given an endowed research center on experiential learning, where students put money, direct money, not a simulated money, and trade as a practice to see how they can multiply in the stock market and commodities market and any other place. And again, Mr. Padmanabhan, Mr. Gautam, and my dear friend, Group Captain Vijay Kumar, whose tireless efforts have resulted in this particular building. Let's give a big hand to them. Good evening, friends. I said good evening, and people are talking about celebrating 80 years. I am 81 years. And not only 81 years, all right, I am still young. And not only young, I had a quintuple bypass surgery where I paid for one and got 4 free, which is a fantastic model in the year 1982. And I have more energy than all of you. And when I said good evening, you said good evening. You know what? One thing before we make India as a paradise regained, we all have to be energetic. You may say, look, I am not energetic, I'm in a hard country, unlike you from Chicago. I tell you what, here is Rajanikanth, who can romance with Deepika Padukone and Shreya, whose combined age is less than his age, and make them tired. That is the key. And how the heck he makes them, or even take, for example, this Chandramukhi. He comes for 3 minutes as a villain with his famous laka 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 laka, right? And he does such a wonderful job. The way he comes, the way he talks, the way he chops the head of the guy and kicks the ball like a head as a ball. And unbelievable, in 3 minutes what he captured as a villain, he cannot do it as a hero. Am I not right? So how did he do that? How did he become so energetic? If you see him not on the set, he is balder than me. Not older than me, but balder than me. But the kind of thing that he does in the set, unbelievable. You can have Kamal Haasan for acting, Rajani for style, and Shivaji for both acting, style, and anything else. Nobody can come near Shivaji Ganesan. All right? But anyway, now how does he do that energetic? Very simple. He is acting energetic. And he kept on acting energetic, it becomes a habit. Right from this moment on, when you walk out of the door, you walk like Rajanikanth, talk like Rajanikanth, think like Rajanikanth, hit him like Rajanikanth. Don't act as a politician like Rajanikanth. He goofed up. But anyway, the point I am trying to say, politicians should be careful on what he says about Toothukudi or Toothukudi. But anyway, let's not politics. And I want you to be very energetic. If you are energetic, join me to make India the best superpower in knowledge power in the entire world. How do we do that? And that is exactly why I said Paradise Regained. Paradise Lost was a poem that Milton wrote, and then he wrote also Paradise Regained. 2,700 years back, India was the place for higher education, highest education for the entire world. Even Britishers came here to learn, not only for spice and tea, but for learning. And we lost that. Nalanda, Takshashila, whatever it is. In my lifetime, I will see a Nalanda will go to New York, a Takshashila will go to Texas, and a Pushpagiri will go to Pittsburgh. And that is exactly what we want to have. And how do we have that? Is it a dream or a dream realized? Is it a vision with a mission? I am positive, all you know, a vision without a mission, without implementation, is nothing but hallucination. I will talk about how do we become a superpower. Not too many, in less than 5 years' time. And let us not miss the bus one more time. All people came us and Britishers raped us. As a matter of fact, a famous historian by name Will Durant, who wrote 20 volumes, he wrote a book, the entire industrial revolution of England was financed by India, Indian money. All right? We were financing the industrial revolution of UK. Why not we have the industrial revolution moving into the internet revolution, moving into the AIMLA revolution? And we are teaching. I am so proud to introduce a few of my people from Great Lakes Center Management, including Dr. Vaidya Jayaraman, please stand up, and Dr. Sridhar, Dr. Ishwar Krishnan Iyer, and Srikant and others. The point I want to say is, we have taken a mission to make sure that Indians sitting right in India can compete with anybody in the world for any resource in the world and with anyone in the world sitting in Manamaya village near Mahabalipuram. That's where we are, 30-acre platinum rated campus. How are we doing that? For the same money of about 18.5 to 19 lakhs, which is a full-time tuition plus living accommodation in India for a 1-year program with a 3-4 years experience, we are able to provide a degree, US degree, AACSB accredited, which creates all kinds of jobs all over the world, so that the students of Great Lakes can go to Chicago exactly 7 weeks, who are right now there, and they will be getting a degree on 28th of July this particular month, just about 3 days from now. For the same money, if the same program is taken by an American citizen in US from the same degree, they have to pay about 4 times. The love that they have for Great Lakes and myself, they were willing to give about a huge reduction in the scholarship and also make them available for all kinds of stuff. And that is the power of what is called as AIMLA. It is clear, all of you may know, that the idea of artificial intelligence, machine learning, I'm going to talk a little bit about Internet of Things, blockchain, and also 3D printing, augmented reality. All of them can be combined. With the previous wave of business analytics, business intelligence, we christened with a name called BABI, B-A-B-I. Not that I do not know spelling. Of course, even if I'm wrong in spelling, who cares? Screw the Britishers. But anyway, the point is, we can do that. And we did that. Similarly, we are going to do that. So now the question is, how are we going to do that? So why do I call it as regain? And I also call it as strategic profitability for the technopreneur. The 70 to 90% of all the businesses in India are family business type. And all of us probably did not have too much of money. I came from a village, born in a village about 80 years back. And I could go with just $8. Single-handedly, I can build the whole business school in Chennai as an outskirt because I want to be far from the madding crowd. All right, that is where the Manamai. We have done the same thing in the capital of NCR, National Capital Region, near Gurgaon. Now we are having an international university at Sri City in Andhra Pradesh, and very soon we will be creating a Great Lakes Global University in one of the big cities of the United States, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, or China. We are going to do that in my lifetime, and I am praying to my God, give me just 5 more years, that's all. After that, take me, no big deal. So the point is, how do we do that, and why do we become paradise regained? And that is what I want to talk about it. And let me take, I have given about 1 hour, of which about 45 minutes I will take 15 minutes for question answers, and then go for that. Okay. Previously, we had technology was a supporting function. Our name of the country itself is Bharat. What is Bharat in my mind? Ba for Bhava, R for Raga, and T for Tala. People, process, and technology. Technology was back. But now what we are going to have with the great people who have got an amazing strength, where we are using our left brain, analytical brain, even 120 to 150%, whereas our right brain, which is sort of communication and effective communication, all of them probably may be used only 50%. Now, that is exactly the opposite in United States and probably the Western world. Now, the time has come for the left brain to dominate the world. And we can probably learn. Let me give you some example. I am positive many of you have heard something called Tesla car, because you have heard about Elon Musk, who have put a red, open, convertible cars orbiting in the space. I have a friend who has a Tesla car. In a hot summer, sometime like August last year, I was actually going in a car in a highway. Many people know that it's an electric car. And suddenly it gonked. It went down. And when it went down, I do not know what to do. And my friend, he's not an engineer, at least I am an engineer. And he does not know what to do and what to do. So therefore, we were thinking of calling the office, because they have given a vehicle identification number, a phone number to call for emergency reasons. And generally, I run a Lexus car. They generally give a replacement wherever we are stopped, and then take my old car, tow it up, and I have a car to run. So the same way, we called it. When we called, there was a secretary, a lady, who took the phone. Sir, what's the problem? Ma'am, we are sweating. Your electric car gonked, stopped, and we do not know what to do, so you gave me an emergency number. I am calling you. Could you explain to me what exactly happened? Ma'am, I am not in a mood to explain, but anyway, we'll try to do that. So we said something had happened, it made a clunk, 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 it stopped, and probably it may be some carburetor or something like that. Anyway, whatever it is, you figure it out. Sir, could you hold on for a minute? I said, yes, all right, I will hold on for a minute. So we were sitting there. Since in an electric car, AC doesn't work, everything doesn't work, I am sweating like hell, waiting, hopefully this lady will come back. In less than 1.5 minutes, she came back. Please note that she said in 1.5 minutes, we are still in the car. We didn't take the car to any garage to repair it. Normally, that is the usual practice. Sir, could you switch on right now? I switched on, the car works. The car works. Please note that no repairman came, no monkey spanner was there, no monkey was there, no garage was there. So what happened was, I thought in an arrogant way that she is a secretary. She is a software engineer. And that software engineer conversation is simultaneously heard by technicians and everybody else. And there are 2 technicians sitting in Bangalore, one in Chennai. Because suddenly I heard a Tamil word. How the heck Tamil word comes? All right? The guys are talking. And at the same time, I found out that the whole system has been repaired by people in Chennai and Bangalore who are members of Tata Consulting Services, working there in India, but for United States, and they can remotely repair and make the damn thing work in 1.5 minutes. All right? And that means, instead of talking like Swiss chocolate and German engineering, everybody in the United States, now I know why they are calling the word Indian techie. If an Indian techie cannot do it, nobody else in the world can do it. We got the name. Now, if you notice it, there are 60,000 people are working just for TCS alone. Add to that the Infosys, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, or whatever you want to call it. All right? Now, who is dominating? Are they actually in US? Yes, 60,000 people may be in US, but more than 600,000 are in India. So now if the national skill development not only develop the skills for carpentry, smiths, etc., to make sure that we have millions of people with the engineering or computer science or any other degree and they are not employed. Now let us take these people who are not having a job, skill them with artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, 3D printing and whatnot, and they will learn it just like that without money. And notice that all the repairmen in the future, in less than 5 years, in all these spanners and monkey spanners, all these guys will be out. Who will be doing all our repair? The software engineers. And how many people we need? Millions. For whom? The world. And who has the supply of that? With the trained, skilled thing. Only India. Nobody else. Even China cannot understand first English. And after that you have to learn engineering. And after that you have to get that. This is called money value of time. If we capture this particular moment, seize the moment, we will dominate the goddamn world just like anything and teach a lesson to the Britishers, Americans, etc. Believe it or not, whether whoever may be the president of the United States, and I want to make sure, and whoever may be the Prime Minister of India, it doesn't matter. The people of India have a fantastic identification with the people of the United States, and that people force will rule rather than a president or a Prime Minister. So let us wake up right now. Make your skills better. So I gave a similar talk on just blockchain on 2 weeks back on 11th of July at Shangri-La Hotel in Delhi on blockchain. And somebody asked the question, sir, you are taking all these things. Is there any MBA school or a computer science school do that? I told them, and nobody is doing it. Where can we find the people to explain and understand and train our people? Did your homework properly? Great Lakes Institute of Management is the only school in the country as of today. Yes, next year everybody will copy it. To have a major in AIMLA, and we are taking about 75% of our students are engineers, and we are converting them ready, and they will be the teachers for all these people. And therefore, I think we can do that. So the technology has not become just a support function. Technology is going to be the lead function, and the leaders of this technology function will be India and nobody else in the world. Now, how do we capture that, implement that, skill them up? Because money value of time, not time value of money. If we miss the boat now, China will take it over. As a matter of fact, in Great Lakes, everybody has to know Chinese language. Why? I was in the armed forces in the Chinese aggression as a captain in the Armored Corps and fought the Chinese and killed the Chinese in Ladakh. Okay? And that is why I am stronger now. That training, without any food, without much equipment, we were able to survive and beat the hell out of it. One of the things we want to make sure in the next time when China attacks, we will know their language, they will not know our language. I will kill them, and everyone will kill them. All right, so therefore, we are trying to make technology as an enabling function, create a new triangle, and that technology is going to give us the competitive advantage no other country will enjoy. And what kind of things are there? Let us talk about that. There are many things, artificial intelligence and machine learning, Indra and others have said. Now there are other things, augmented reality, blockchain, Internet of Things, 3D printing. We are all talking about corruption. We also demonetize. Probably there may be more corruption after that, maybe more black money also after that. Because we know how to do that art. The corruption can be stopped. I'm going to give you a simple example of blockchain. I wanted to talk about that. People say, I'll go to that thing right now and I will take that up. So what is blockchain? You can see that blockchain, there is 3 important segments. As I have said, it's a cryptographically secure system. That means security. I am positive many of you might have seen, those of you who know Tamil, a movie called Irumbuthirai, Vishal and Arjun and others. And you know what the story is. We will make sure no Arjun can enter that scheme. And I will also tell you. Then it's a sort of a transactional singleton. There is only one truth. Truth is only one. Somebody says, how do you remember that? That is truth. If I lie, I have to remember that. If it is a truth, why should you need to remember? That's it. So therefore, there must be only one truth. Let me give a simple example. This is a true story. I do not want to connect any human being with my story. I have a wonderful home, 5-bedroom, swimming pool, all kinds of stuff, and I made some money in Nilangarai. 1994, I created, this is sometime like 1997. A friend of mine bought a fantastic house. He is also an NRI, but settled back to Chennai. And he wanted to have for his children and also for himself all his hard-earned money, put something like close to 3 crores and bought a fantastic home in that kind of a beach area. Brilliant home. 5 bedrooms, more than a lot of things, servant quarters, everything. Market price was at that time was about 3 crores or 2.5 crores, and he paid 2.5 crores. I do not know how he paid that. Let us not talk about that. And then his auditor and advocate said, look, you have bought that, you have to have a patram so that the title comes to you. But the question is, you want to have the title, but if you say the true value of 3.5 crores, then the total amount of stamp paper that you have to buy is X. But if you call it as 30 lakhs, all right, you get the same title. And of course, he said, wait a minute, that's not right. No, why do you waste your money? Buy a stamp paper for 30 lakhs. He bought it. And he finished the whole deal. 30 lakhs was the stamp paper. So therefore, the cost of stamp paper is 10% of X. Everything is all settled. Unfortunately, there was some group of people, very powerful people, in the Tamil Nadu government, etc., etc. Let me not mention which party, nothing, somebody, or call it as a fictitious name. And that person had some assistants, quote unquote, were amassing wealth by acquiring awesome buildings for various purposes. They also have newspapers. 1.5, 2 years later, somebody came, sir, I heard to my friend, I heard your house is on sale. You made an advertisement, and you also asked to make an offer, no reasonable offer, because this person was very solid. He came back to settle in India. I said, wait a minute, the house is not for sale. I'm not going back to US or anything like that. How do you know it's a house? Sir, look at these 2 papers. Both say it is on sale. So I looked at it, he looked at it, and he said, there must be something wrong. Then the person produces the letter. Is this your signature? Yes. So you have given a request to the newspaper. So I am making an offer. I will give you 40 lakhs, which is 25% profit in 1 year. Please give it to me. No, you made an offer. This offer is rejected. So what do you want? It is not for sale. On and off. And then he says, look, you have 24 hours time. I'll come back tomorrow. Please let me know. We want to buy that for 40 lakhs. So my friend, he called me. I was in Chicago. How did they get that 40 lakhs? Well, I made a little mistake. Okay. What mistake? Well, for the stamp paper, I want to save a few money here and there. So that's why I did that, but I didn't do anything, any crime, etc., etc. And then I looked at it and asked him, who said that? Who wanted that? I do not know. So check with some of my friends. Then I found out this is a practice. So the next day that person came, sir, did you make up your mind? I have cash, or if you want a check, I will give you whatever you want. Cash means sort of a black money. I can give you a little more. But if you take a check, I will give you precisely 40 lakhs. No, I am not here. Sir, you cannot refuse. if you don't give me, you won't exist. Where? In the world. This is like Godfather. I'm going to give you a non-revocable or non-refusable offer. Won't exist. So then again, he checked up with some friends. At least 3 people mysteriously died in the city area. Now he got scared. And he called his children. I said, we know this kind of stuff. You shouldn't have done that. Why I am saying that is, finally he gave it. And he returned back to US. Now, why I am saying that? You need a transaction. And that transaction has the truth. And that transaction is shared by multiple people. A buyer, seller, government, everybody else. And anybody, so there are 5 T's in blockchain. First, a transaction that is etched and whatnot, secure, and that has a truth. So if you try to fake it up as 40 lakhs, 30 lakhs, you pay a penalty of that. So the corruption is not just the government. Corruption is not just the ministerial corps, not the bureaucrats. Corruption is us also. There is a blockchain and everybody is recorded. I don't have any incentive, even if an auditor suggests that you can do that thing. I won't do it because I know the truth is there. And I paid white money, 3 crores plus. Why the heck I have to get it a cheap shot on this little money and lose the whole damn thing? Because if I am slightly giving a little mistake, so my point I am trying to say is, there is a transaction with multiple parties. It can be upgraded. So transaction, the transparency, the second T. Now the third thing is tracking. People can track what has happened because it is secured by an independent body. Everybody shares and nobody can lie. And note that it is like a partnership. One guy can veto the whole partnership. So if you do not agree on any number, that particular transaction, so it's a distributed, decentralized, mass general ledger, which preserves the truth. So transparency is there, transaction is a starting point, and then you have tracking mechanism. Year by year I can modify and say what is the market price of that, and everybody agrees to that, all right, and shared by everybody, and it's only one truth, and then also it creates trust. And at the same time, the truth is always prevailing. If you really believe in Satyameva Jayate, blockchain is the only solution. Not anything else. I can do all of them. So the key point is the current technology not only becomes efficient, but even an Indian techie who cannot afford a particular building or an apartment or a flat can have a mass building. Because the money that he is going to get in a shorter time is going to be so huge because the whole world will be talking for trained people, and the trained people with knowledge and who can also embellish the knowledge and also learn the free knowledge from Coursera and other kinds of moves kind of things are only the Indians. And we are training them. If for some reason they do not want to have it just in India, we are also giving for the same Indian education an opportunity to that. If any one of you want to have, one of my friends can do that. So let me talk about the other kinds of stuff. 1 minute and then come to blockchain. So we are going to talk a little bit about artificial intelligence. Augmented reality also I'm going to do it. Blockchain, Internet of Things and 3D printing. So essentially what is blockchain? A cryptographically security, like a Godrej lock. And then it has a transactional singleton. Truth is only one. The truth cannot have 17 different forms. All right? There is one, singleton. What is that? And that is preserved, secured, and all of us subscribe to that same truth, and we agreed, and therefore every modification that is happening on any tracking is agreed by everyone. Anyone can veto it. And of course, it's a shared state. All of us share the whole thing. Now, Internet of Things, it is a machine-to-machine. It's a machine-to-machine data exchange of network. Many of you know that. I do not want to give a definition. It is an ecosystem that connects sensors to software. Now, for example, in my Tesla case, it's a set of sensors. They wanted you to give you what exactly happened, so they kept on looking at it. And let me also ask the following. When you stop an engine and put it in the car on the road, if you do not have a parking space, what is there? When you shut off the engine, the whole engine stops. But guess what? If a Tesla car is shut off, the engine stops, but the software talks. Every Tesla car, 24 hours a day, 365 days in a year, is talking to another Tesla car. Every Tesla car. Suppose, for example, you go in a particular road, and that particular road in OMR has a big accident. Immediately you tell your friends coming later on, you don't take that road. You come through this way. Now a Tesla car tells the other Tesla car, don't take it. You don't even tell. So note that that is again artificial intelligence and blockchain and algorithms and Internet of Things combined. Integration of physical world with the computer world. IoT will be the genesis of smart grids. Smart grids, just for an information, there are 4 billion connected people, 4 trillion revenue by 2020, which is only 2 years from now, or not even 2 years, 2.5 years. Let us say 25 million applications, 25 billion embedded system, and 30 zettabytes according to Gartner. There is a tremendous amount of growth is going to happen, and believe it or not, 50% of that growth will happen in India. That means if we, somebody said, Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan said, India has given nothing to science. What he meant is India gave 0 to science. The number 0 was invented by, he didn't mean nothing. So there are only in a digital world only 2, 0 and 1. 0 is ours. And we will make all of them 0. We will make all of them 0 by grabbing the other one also soon. The next one, why AIMLA? Now, what is artificial intelligence? I'm going to give my own definitions. All right? What is, we talked about input, output, process, etc., bhava, raga, tala. The previous way, today's data, which has become big data. What is big data? If your amount of data growth cannot be handled by your existing computing facilities, that becomes big data. But tomorrow you have a newer computer which can handle that data. That big data is simply data, not small data, data. So therefore a big data, my own definition is, if your current computing capabilities cannot handle an amount of data which is growing non-linearly, exponentially, that is big data, all right? Now, therefore, we have to find that. So that data of today is solved by pattern recognition, all kinds of stuff that can be programmed as an algorithm, can result in an output, and that's exactly what I'm saying in that particular place. All right? Current data with today's algorithm gives you today's output. Now, what is artificial intelligence? Yesterday's output. We know that. Why? Output is a fact, no more a suggestion. Of course, we are in a world of uncertainty. Uncertainties are inevitable, but worrying is optional. Panicking is pathetic, and therefore planning is paramount. All right? And therefore, what do? We make sure the yesterday's data, which is available in fact, and take that yesterday's data as an input. Yesterday's output become input. And on top of which, so yesterday is our experience. Today is our experiment. Tomorrow is our expectation. Exploit the experience of a yesteryear in today's experiment to create an expectation of a paradise to regain. So therefore, take the yesterday's output and put it in today's data to get what is called as a output, which is a tomorrow's algorithm. When I said AIMLA, I created the term artificial intelligence, machine learning, and in A, it is not simply analytics, it is algorithmic analytics. All right? So the three combined, which is our stroke of genius, can rule the world. So you are going to get tomorrow's algorithm. So, and the tomorrow's algorithm is managed by, maintained by, nurtured by, cultivated by the machine. Because all the things are in place. So who is teaching that? Us, AIMLA. Right now, what is AIMLA? When and where this work? I am positive you have heard from Google PageRank. You want to say what are the 10 best doctors in this area? Google gives it. As a matter of fact, Mata Pita, Google Devam has become. No, the guru is replaced by Google. All right? If you do, and we mastered the Google. Who is the head of the Google? Indian. Probably a South Indian. Actually, you might have seen Ulahai Alum Tamurargal by Channel 7 News, etc., etc. It is an internet. Indranui is there. Sundar Pichai is there. Satya Nadala is there. Satya Nadala is not there. Sundar Pichai is there, but Sridhar is there. Yours truly is there. Indra Nui is there. Look at that. These are all the guys have to go to US to become Ulai Alam. You can stay right here. And that's why I came back. Because the action is here. So my last days and my dream is to die in this soil and not in an American soil. Hope God gives me that power. So therefore, the page bank, and then, for example, computational biology, the cell biology. You wouldn't believe the kind of cures that can be done. As a matter of fact, thank God I produced two sons. One is a Harvard PhD, is a University of Illinois MBA director. Another one is a guy who even treated the world's richest man, who is not a billionaire, but a trillionaire. He is King Khalifa of Abu Dhabi. I do not know how many of you know. He gave $350 billion of personal money, not Abu Dhabi money, to bail out Dubai from bankruptcy. And that guy is also a human being. 5 doctors who were in Emirates Palace could not solve him, whereas my second son solved it. And guess what? He went back. They gave a $50 million check for his research to MD Anderson, the world's best cancer hospital. The kind of, even if cancer, I have lost my brother-in-laws, some other people, my dearest friend, #1 graduate of the very first batch to cancer. But the cancer is going to be cured. Cured, not only controlled. Please note that. However it's possible. The same computational biology, same stuff. The applications are abundant. Credit card fraud development, including if this particular thing exists, Irumbuthirai will not happen. It's a history. But Irumbuthirai happened because it is still there, and there are some issues to be taken care of. There are so many things, social media analytics. Now let me go to some other things. I can go indefinitely. I would like to have some time for questions. Now, I want to talk a little bit about what is this business analytics. Now, this analytics, see, now the question is, one of the things I was saying before was all these things are the new thing, but the point is, the old things are also coming to picture. The big data, if you see a little bit back, big data, cloud computing, social media, mobility, big solution. So therefore, the 3 stages of evolution is internet revolution of 1995-96 surpassed all the other earlier revolution. The Y2K and beyond create another revolution. About 3-4 years back, business analytics, business intelligence made a revolution. Today, it is a revolution of AIMLA. All right? Tomorrow will be a unification and interface of all of them to put together. And if you put them together, you can actually do wonderful. I was wondering and cursing my father. I wanted to be an engineer. But my father wanted me to go to statistics honors. I do not know what the heck is statistics honors, but he said, Guhan Sanjeevi, all the statistics honors, only 12 people from the Presidency College in the year 1958 or whatever at the time, are the #1 IAS officers. He wanted to be an IAS officer. I thought IAS means Indian Annihilation Service. But anyway, he thought that is where you can make money. Okay, not black money. I don't want black money. So anyway, I was cursing him. I did it. Unfortunately, some professor said I can do my engineering. So I did my engineering in US. Then, even after that, my father was, before death, was saying, look, you have to do operation research, industrial engineering operation. I again cursed him. My God, this father, at any age, even if I become 30 years, he's still telling me what to do. Of course, he told me the only one right thing he said was, marry this girl. I married, I am happy. 54 years. Anyway, coming back. Now I found out what a vision he had, that statistics is business analytics, operations research is intelligence system and algorithm. And now the computer also there, I'm able to combine my father's vision and my implementation. The two together is a phenomenal story. So therefore, this is essentially, I want to talk about this stuff quickly. So you have the input, output, etc. So the big data is going to have, and note that you do not need to punch cards or you do not have to capture, everything is optical scanning, computer graphics, everything else are all automatically stored and then analyzed into some meaningful information. And then that information is forecasted by statistics into future, why you are competing for the future, and that future forecasted thing has to make a decision. So you have multiple solutions. What is the optimal solution? And can I make the whole thing completely done by machines? Yes, when there is a doubt, when there is a difficulty, I will step in. This also may create some social unrest. It is possible some people may lose a job. But if you are able to reskill them and continuously skill them, there is no dearth for work. All right? At one time, people hated computer coming in. Now, without computer, we cannot survive. Without cell phone, we cannot survive. And therefore, folks, it is very, very important for us to continuously skill ourselves. And how do you skill? I want to take this thing, implementation. And then I talk about globality. I talked about that. Can an Indian compete from sitting anywhere in the world like a village in Manamai as we are? With anyone in the world for a city like a guy in New York? And for any resource in the world in terms of customer, capital, anything else. That is globality, not globalization. Of course, Narasimha Rao and things, ministership was taken away by T.N. Session. Why? Globalization as a last name Session. Liberalization as a Session. Privatization. So whenever he heard the word Session, he is nervous, right? Folks, I'm going to meet him tomorrow. He lost his wife. He was teaching for us for 5 years. Unfortunately, he's not doing that well. I wrote a book with him on leadership. Now let me talk about this. So this is a very, very important thing. How do I, as I said, mission, any vision without implementation is nothing but hallucination. How do we implement and how do we do that? First thing, as a business or anybody else, you developed a well-mapped design strategy. All these techniques and technology are not for you. Some of them. What is the most appropriate? You have to select, and some intelligent people who are working in your company can decide, especially Indians can do that so well. And then experiment until it becomes a sound practice. Don't launch right away until you prove it. Alpha test, beta test, all those things. Till it becomes, so experiment the second stage. Then engage. Engage who? Younger staff and reverse mentoring. If you are a CEO of age 45 plus, identify a 20 to 22. The guy, for example, my grandson, who is only about 4 years, he can fix any computer. He is born with a DNA of computer fixing probably. All right? It doesn't read a manual. I am reading a manual, still do not understand what the heck to do. So that is our technology. So therefore, have a reverse mentor. When I was on the board of Godrej, I wanted every senior officer, including RD Godrej, to have a person who is 21, 22 from a business school with an applied engineering or computer science undergraduate. He is executive assistant. Why? He learns, both learn from each other. So engage with a younger staff with reverse mentor. Integrate what? Technology thoroughly and not hastily. Don't jump quickly because there can be disasters. And finally, be bold. Be bold and brave. I don't need to have an explanation. After that, don't stop. Update. Skills from online and blended programs you can learn. Continuously learn. My own philosophy for life is 3 stages of us. Assume that we are 90 years plus. All right? First 30 years, learn like anything. The second 30 years, learn, but also earn a lot. Unless you learn, and people say, if you are people say that being materialistic is anti-spiritualistic. Bullshit. Why? Look at, there are only, white money in the entire world is constant. There are only two groups of people: thieves, thugs, terrorists, mafiosis, and Trump. And or you and I. The money has to be in somebody's hands. Ask yourself, is the money is better off in your hands or our, and the first group I said, if it is in their money, if the money is in their hands, there is death, disaster, and destruction. Whereas it is in your hand, there is a Great Lakes, there is an MMA, there is an Andhra Chamber of Commerce, all of us prosper. All right? So therefore, learn to earn, and not only that, in the long run, I go, you go, why ego in between? So surrender your ego and succeed with your logo. All right? Succeed with your logo. You are not better than the company, believe it or not. A lot of people think, without me, there is no company. Bullshit. You are not nobody. Why? All of us, whatever may be the religion, whatever may be the gender, will have only one name. First name is called dead, last name is called body. In Tamil, Settapanam. There is nothing called Sahadapanam. A Sahadapanam talking about Settapanam. Give me a break. All right, the key point is the money has to be returned. That is the third page. Whatever money, I tell you what, I will be returning to the grave with the same $8 I came from. Nothing more, I don't need that. Because why do I need that? But if I create it in school and train a lot of people, that legacy stays. My name will go. Yes, it will be not Dr. Bala, not even Uncle Bala, but it will be called dead body. Yes or no? But learn that and give it return. Learn, earn, and return. Always. You are be immortal. The whole country will do very well. So that's exactly what I want to say. And finally, I want to leave with this. I have 4 sights, F-O-U-R. What are the 4 sights? Insight, hindsight, oversight, and F-O-R-E sight, foresight. I learned that there is a fantastic statue of Swami Vivekananda. He said, awake and arise. So awake with your insights and therefore exploit and explore your insight, whatever you learned. That takes you to leverage and forecast from your hindsight. Something worked, something did not work, what will work in the future. That will take you for the work I did to make sure Barack Obama gets his first election. Second election, he was a little bit different. Unfortunately, in the second term, everybody becomes different, including maybe Narendra Modi. Anyway, coming back. Avoid and rectify any oversight. So awake with your insight, arise with your hindsight, and then avoid any oversight. And that means you can astonish the whole world with your foresight. Your foresight is extremely essential. The next generation can make us proud. And those of you who are the younger generation, please do not forget your father or mother. At the old age, you make the money, but don't allow the money to corrupt your brain. You are here because of the sacrifice of your mother and father. And the umbilical cord of your mother is never cut. When I was sick and I was about to tell my mother that I am going to go for a quintuple bypass surgery, and I didn't have the nerve to tell her because she may die. At that time she said, in less than 1 minute, she said, you are going for a bypass surgery? Nothing will happen to you. You will come back. அப்படியே திரும்பி வந்துட்டேன்னு சொல்லு. That's all she said. God bless you. Thank you very much. Good luck. Jai Hind. God bless you. Thank you. Yeah.
Gentlemen, floor is open for questions, and please be brief, no statements. Just a question, please.
Hello. Professor Bala sir, it's always a kick to listen to you.
You can also call me as Uncle Bala.
Okay. Uncle Bala sir, it's always a kick to listen to you. I belong to the healthcare industry. So I saw a slide on computational biology. we talk about so much of technology and AIMLA. So as the years progress, there's so much of advances in the technology. But one thing as the mankind forgets is that the amount of impact it's going to have it on the health of a person. And all this technology, too much of a technology is going to have an impact on especially diabetes. Why diabetes? Like today in India, like diabetes has come to the topmost position in terms of mortality and morbidity.
Correct.
So I
am diabetic.
Yes,
still living.
Me even as a young guy, I'm also diabetic. So one thing I want to say is that using this technology and genetic engineering,
yes,
how this technology can, I would say prevent younger diabetics. For example, for my son, whether this technology can help to do a remodification in the genetic engineering so that he doesn't become a progressive diabetic like me.
You see, actually, I call the questions into three types. Good questions, very good question, excellent question. If I said good question, I have no clue on the answer. I want to make sure you feel good, right? Good question. If I said very good question, yes, I have an answer. If I said it's an excellent question, I have a PowerPoint as the answer. Actually, I have 3 more PowerPoints I did not put. But coming back, I am positive you may have heard about Reddy Labs.
Yes, sir.
And you also probably heard about the reverse engineering. I said in one of the transparency, yesterday's output and today's data creates the tomorrow's algorithm, right? It's essentially reverse engineering. I just simplified that. So right now there are so many people are doing work in diabetes to create newer ways. And believe it or not, my A1C is 6.5. All right, not 7. I want to have it 6. But the question is, we found out each one is different. So now note that previously they say diabetes type A or type B, right? Now we are talking about individual diabetic, and then we monitor that, and then look at the 3 or 4 times you prick, and then try to look at the numbers by change the dose, and then suddenly put that in a space only for you. That data of several days is only for you. Like that I have billions of people, right? Now I can take some kind of a clustering or grouping kind of a mechanism, and then find out what kind of things I can classify you. Even on hepatitis C, there are 4 different types. Gilead Sciences doing. So this particular technology is able to come up with a sort of a transparency and tracking mechanism individually, a market of size 1, and then come up with an appropriate medication formula and the diet formula and the exercise regimen that we can at least control that. Until we create a cure. There are some people are trying to get a cure because of the cell, stem cells and whatnot. And right now, because of the stem cell culture, even we can definitely cure cancer, but same thing is going to happen. And that was not possible before 2000. The internet revolution, this revolution gives you such a distributed database and a decentralized network that I can exploit that and come up with a customized regimen only for you. And that is going to happen. It has not happened, but it is a tremendous amount of money has been spent, because not only here, even in US, diabetes is an unfortunate disease, but next to only cancer, please note. And so we are trying to work on it. It is going to happen. How long it will take, this is the beauty of it. The rapidity with which the change is happening in the last 2-3 years, Uber, etc., is the previous world. That's all become obsolete, right? Now this is happening. And I do not know what is going to happen in 3 years from now. Something else is going to supersede this. But one thing for sure, there will be a cure for everything. And unfortunately, our life will be extended. I do not know whether that's a good or bad, all right? Especially, my wife says, the current something like that. Anyway, but I'm just kidding. Thank you.
Thank you, Uncle.
Yes, please.
My question is, artificial intelligence a lot on the medical side, on the consultation of and prescribing medicine also in developed countries. And what is your opinion where we can also, India also grow on that side?
On the medical side? I think we see, this is the beauty of it. See, as a matter of fact, an Indian doctor uses his brain more than the lab tests and other technology. An American doctor uses technology more than the Indian doctor. And they outsource all kinds of data and systems. As a matter of fact, people who can read a nice X-ray, the guy is going for a surgery, and you cannot, and the guy says, I want 2 days time to read the thing, right? Now they can outsource it simultaneously to any other place right here. And then a very well-established doctor can analyze that in less than 3 minutes, upload what is needed while the surgery is being done. So we are having a tremendous amount of opportunity which US doctors cannot do because there is a barrier to entry, whereas there is no barrier to entry here. Even a Timbuktu college without any lab is giving an MD. But the MD knows he has to take care of people. He could have passed the exam, but at the same time he has to. So fortunately, this so-called Coursera and that kind of things allow you to learn by yourself. The guy is intelligent anyway. If he can give a capitation fees to some college and get a seat, no matter what, he is intelligent enough to make that money worthwhile in less than 1 year, right? So these are the people who are going to rule the world, and that is again India.
And in India, we have to use a lot of robotics for mining industries. And robotics and artificial intelligence combined in mining industries. Is there any other examples elsewhere?
See, this robotic industry definitely do that. I will give you an example. Many of us, including me, either we have an Alexa or a Echo or something. At one time, my second son, whom I talked about it, came about 10 days back to my home before I came here. And I bought a Brooks Brothers shirt at $41. I also buy a Costco Kirkland brand shirt for $19.97. It so happened the Costco shirt $19.97 is stronger. That is what I am wearing. Whereas the Brooks Brothers shirt goes away. So I was telling this bloody thing is two shirts can be done. Believe it or not, in less than half a minute, the Alexa rings and I got a coupon for $50 from Brooks Brothers. I am talking a normal conversation in the kitchen with my son. This stupid Alexa is watching me 24 hours a day. And that is robotics, please understand that. All right? And that one, he says, sorry sir for your experience with Brooks Brothers. Here is $50. You go, shirt is on. In case it is more than $50, tell me what it is, we'll pay you. Look at the customer satisfaction or customer delight or customer astonishment. That is what is happening. So I have a feeling, as you correctly say, the robotics is not only for mining, it can be gone to everywhere. All we have to do, an Indian techie to find an application. But the money will be financed by an American guy, but the Indian techie will have the brain, and the two together can have a partnership and both win.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yes, sir.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Doctor, I really wonder at 80 how you keep yourself updated so well. So I just wanted an advice from you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted an advice from you as to avoid a future shock.
Future shock.
Yeah. So how much and how do you get yourself updated?
Future shock, continuous learning, sir.
How do you do it?
How do you do that? I am doing that at 81. Very simple, sir. I was a professor of operation research in Kellogg when I joined, got my tenure. I got, let us say, X amount of dollars. Somebody said to me, if you are in the same school but in the accounting department, it is 60% more. In less than 1 year, I finished a CPA. Yes, sir. So we have to have some incentives, and if the right incentives, we can make an honest, ethical money and make ourselves and the country proud. So make the maximum money and more, no question about it. And return it. You cannot have it. Your daughter-in-law will kill you. Not your son, please note. Go ahead. No offense, I just joking.
We are very proud that you are the founder, dean and chairman of Great Lakes Institute of Management, and you are one among the management courses that in our country, like IIM, PIM, and symbiosis like that. And we are all producing very good management students, and we are giving very good courses. But we are not going up to the level like USA, in which they are creating the companies like Google, like Facebook, like Apple, and Uber, and everything. But we are stopping at a level of only working as a manager or as a technician, technocrat, like that. When we are going to produce people who can go and establish the company like them.
Sir,
So is there any sort of program is there in your...
okay. I think, I do not know that, the country head who got promoted of Google in India is a guy by name Sailesh Rao. He is a student of mine at Kellogg's School, not there. All right? Not only that, I want you to know the following. How did as a matter of fact, we were stupid to deny an admission in the MBA program for Satya Nadella. All right? Same thing, Sundar Pichai was actually in a 2-bedroom apartment right here in Chennai. Right? And he is running the show. He is still an Indian. A Madhav Rajan from Masala Dosa Madras, eating Masala Dosa. He is now the dean of #1 school in called Chicago, University of Chicago Booth. So we have produced them. Now the time has now come. You don't need to go to US to be like that. Right? Because of this. So if you created an application, I want you to search Google, since you said Google, who are the richest people in Albany, New York? One guy's name is Karthik, another guy's name is Kuha, both Buhan. Both of them are twin brothers, son of my sister. Right? Richest person. He made an application sitting in Chennai in the beach. That application is sold for $180 million of profit. And he is also asked to continue because they want his brain. A guy from a Pudupatti village near Pudukkottai with an $8 who has not seen even Chennai for 15 years can go to US and get the gold medal in Operation Research in the entire world, not in Carnegie Mellon. So if you have the determination, perseverance, persistence, you can achieve anything. Unnal mudiyum thambi. That's it. Our fellows can do it. A Google can do it. And I hope it happens in my lifetime. It can happen.
Good day, sir. Thank you for sharing your valuable knowledge. Well, we have been talking about machine learning and creation of new technology ever since for a long time. But then, haven't we missed talking about how to how to manage the waste generated by that? Because India alone produces approximately 2 million e-waste every year, 2 million kg of e-waste every year.
I missed your last part. I heard the first part. Repeat the second part.
Like India as a country generates approximately 2 million kilograms of e-waste and toxic waste every year. So we're just talking about the technology and the development which can happen in the future. But what about what we have already done in the past? You have not spoken about how to manage that.
Ma'am, India's problem is huge. And there are two groups of people without knowing, either one knowing the answer, is trying to solve the problem. Right? You know what? If you think, Gandhi said, be the change you want to see. If you people, that is your age, with all this technology can start thinking, and I do not know whether you know this. About 6 years back, I wanted A.R. Rahman to get the Oscar award, right? I generally do not see Oscar. So I want to see that, thinking that he will do. At that time, everybody talked about thanking Mother, thanking God, and thanking one particular person called Harvey Weinstein. All right? There were more thanks to Harvey Weinstein than God or Mother combined. Now, what is he doing in the jail? Why it happened? The so-called Me Too movement. Right? In the blockchain kind of stuff, a group of people can create a movement and can create a noble cause as the cause of uniting them, like a Facebook friendship kind of thing. Two people completely toppled the Egyptian government. Now, if you put your mind together, not you alone, with like-minded people like you in your age group, I'll be delighted to support and also even advise. And you do that, that people movement can do anything. The future is the people power. The technology is enabling the people to come together, and together they will achieve anything. Believe it or not. Put your mind to that. You will get it. Unfortunately, I do not want to talk about the politicians, what they are not doing or what they are doing. But I will tell you one thing. It is not important what you don't have. But what is important is what you do with what you have. Beethoven is a blind and a deaf person. He wrote the best music. He cannot hear his music. He cannot see his music. How did he do that? So if you put your mind and people like you, you can turn the world on with your determination. That is called global mindset, Indian roots. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Incidentally, folks, you are going to see Venki Shankar. I heard him saying that he's also a student of mine from Kellogg's Club, PhD. Anyway, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you all will agree it's a treat to listen to Dr. Bala Balachandran, and once he triggers the thought, the interaction can go on and on. Can we give a big, energetic round, loud applause, ladies and gentlemen? Whether India will regain the paradise or not, only time will tell, but all of us have regained our energy and inspiration by listening to. Thank you very much, sir. To deliver the closing remarks, may I now invite Mr. R.R. Padmanabhan, the Chairman, Skill Development Subcommittee, Andhra Chamber of Commerce.
மழை பெஞ்சு ஓய்ஞ்ச மாதிரி இருக்கு. Respected Uncle Bala, I think I may be permitted to say so. Our beloved President, Madam Indra Dutt, Mr. Srikanth, and my distinguished colleague from Executive Committee, Andhra Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Gautam, and ladies and gentlemen, students. Whenever I'm a student of economics, basically. So we used to read Malthushian theory of population. It was a doomsday theory, Malthusian theory. The criticism was a human being is born not only with a mouth to feed, but with two hands to work. That's why whenever they say India's population is going to be a disaster, it just made a small change in the form of software. But for software, our people would have been killing each other. That made a huge difference. Of course, the real estate value also went up because of that. I'm always reminded of this Tirukkural. Vellathanaya malarneetam mandardam ullathaneyedu uyarvu. So, people, we are going to matter. The advantage that we have is 300 years of British rule, the dividend English language. The English who came to rob us are going to get robbed. That's true. But provided we are prepared. All along his speech, youngsters, you should have observed, this is what we call as the science of preparation. Within a year, he passed CPA. A statistician and engineer jumping into accounts because there is an opportunity and he prepared himself for that. That's a lesson for us. It's not enough that you have desire, You got to prepare for yourself. I used to tell my students, suddenly 100 crore is given. Can you withstand? Some people may even die of shock. You got to prepare yourself for such an eventuality. And that is not a day's affair. Every day, you got to prepare yourself. This AIMLA, this is the first time I'm hearing. Lovely, nice to hear, and it's positive. And it is going to ring our ears. We will take this message across, and we will bring positivity in all our endeavors. Not only that, this will create a ripple effect. To whomever we meet, we are going to talk about this. And good thing that cancer is going to be cured. Whatever may be the degree, 4th degree or n degree, whatever degree it is going to be cured. I wish none of us get into that, because one of my relatives succumbed. It's such a worst killer, silent killer. It comes unannounced. That's the worst part of it. So this is good news that it is going to be a curable one. Plus, our longevity, you can choose to end your life on earth. I don't want to use the word death. This period, that is also going to be possible through technology. Should give a big hand for this. Whether it is good or bad, it's a different issue. That possibility exists. And one more key takeaway, what I heard from Doctor. A formal education will land you up in a job. But self-education will give you status, money, and power. And this self-education is a continuous learning. And in a good way, the technology is available. Name any course, it's available free. Online. Any specialization you need, maybe you have to pay extra. But the point is, it is available. It's not that you are out of the college and everything is over. No, that's the beginning of your learning. Only by self-education, our Uncle Bala has come up to this stage. And learn, yearn, return. Where else you will have this kind of a living legend who would like to give back to the Mother India, Mother Tamil Nadu, whatever he has taken from there. Now it is coming back to us. So possibly a few years down the line, you will have more Googles, more Ubers, whatnot from this Chennai soil. With these remarks, I request humbly all the youngsters here, imbibe this. Possibly this speech will be in YouTube, Captain? Isn't it? It's already live. Don't try to hear it at a one stretch. It is impossible to grasp all these things in an hour or so. Take few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Listen, digest it. Let it sink into your system. Because these days, we get a lot of negative news. In fact, I recall, I am a student of late 70s. My professor was Dr. Ramanujam of Vaishnav College. He used to say, when he was a student in Laila College, his professor would say, if you want to live longer, don't read the paper, write first in the morning. That was in the 30s. Okay? So that continues, unfortunately, in this country even now. All good things will come only in third page. First page, some death. First page, something else. Only in, and I don't know, how come we have this kind of a culture imbibed into this system? And negative news spreads very fast, like viral. So, leave out that negativity, cultivate the attitude of positivity in you. that will take you to greater heights. Thank you, Dr. Bala, for being with us. And thank you, Madam, for being with us today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. Indra Dutt to kindly present a memento to our guest speaker on behalf of Andhra Chamber of Commerce and the Madras Management Association. Thank you, sir, for having accepted our invitation to be part of this celebration. I request Mr. R. Srikanth, the former President, Madras Management Association, to kindly present a memento to Dr. Indra Dutt. Thank you, sir. I now request Group Captain Vijay Kumar to deliver the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Prakash. After all this, what has happened, what is vote of thanks? I think Dr. Bala will go miles to listen to him. I know whether Dr. Bali Romba, I went to him to seek his advice. He is my mentor, guide, friend, philosopher, everything. He always guides me. The moment it goes, my mail goes, instant reply will come. I went to Great Lakes to seek his advice. Sir, what should we do in the MMA new building and what? He took me around all over the new place. And finally, one word he said, which I always remember, is that you all think big, but Vijay, you must also act big. Told me, which I said. And what he said, we are able to do that. Thank you, Dr. Bala, because you have been always a source of inspiration for MMA. And I think somebody asked, what is future shock? How can you avoid? Become a member of MMA, attend all our events. No shock will be there. Thanks so much. And also, thank you, Madam, that you have been a great source of support to MMA. Whenever you want to do something jointly, your team is always with us. And Mr. Gautam and Mr. Batmanaban has always been a source of help to us. We look forward to have a long and maybe 8th. Soon we'll celebrate, as you said, every quarter we'll celebrate. Because management is the one which we should celebrate, then only it will be imbibed in each one of us. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. In a big way, you come and made this event really a grand success because it's a milestone which we must celebrate. Also, all the viewers who are watching this program live, as Mr. Batmanaban said, it's there in our website. Next couple of years, you can watch some bits and pieces and get learning.